Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Cole. Sunday night, September 19th, moving now into week 6 of Humanities 2333 Philosophy of Life for the fall term. Everybody, we're now into week 6 of 8, so we're moving to the end of this 8-week term pretty quickly. We're running a discussion through the middle of the week, Wednesday, on existentialism and authenticity. There haven't been all that many posts. Hope you will take a look at that and post a couple of times by the middle of the week. I hope that will be some material that's of interest to you and give you some food for thought. Once we get through with that discussion, we'll be about a week away from the due date for your second written assignment, which is due at the end of the month on the 30th, Thursday, September 30th. Let me just say a word about that assignment. It asks you to reflect as to whether any of your views have been changed over the course of the term. And you may look at any aspect of your own thinking that you wish to focus on, your religious or ethical or political views perhaps, or perhaps plans you've made for the rest of your life. Important decisions you may have coming up that somehow might have been influenced by something we've done over the course of the term. Now, as you look at that assignment, you might want to look ahead briefly at the material all the way to the end of the term, depending on what your choice of topic is. Everyone, one thing I've noticed about this assignment, which I've been using for a couple of terms now, people tend to make it autobiographical, which is fine, but don't make it entirely autobiographical. You need to connect it up somehow, if you possibly can, to something we've done over the course of the term, or something maybe that remains toward the end of the syllabus. Okay? Don't make it exclusively autobiographical. Try to tie it up to something philosophical. Sometimes it's hard to get students to make these papers philosophical, but we need to try to do that. So don't make it autobiographical and nothing but. Try to tie it up to something we have studied over the course of the term. And that then will be coming up. The due date is next week, not this week, but next week on Thursday the 30th, after we wind up our third discussion by the middle of this week. Now, everyone, we've got that discussion and one more, plus the second written assignment, and then the final exam is the only other thing we have through the end of the term. So we're coming to the end of this short 8-week term in which we have to get everything in the course of 8 weeks. On the syllabus for this week, everybody, we move from religion to ethics. We look at ethical theory in general, and then at consequentialism, and those are the class notes for lectures 11 and 12. Now, lecture 11 spends a good deal of time on the topic of cynicism. Cynicism is widespread. It becomes very easy in the contemporary world to take a cynical attitude. But if our worldview is totally and utterly cynical, it may become very difficult to be ethical at all or talk about ethics in a coherent way. Then we move on in the class notes for lecture 12 to talk about consequentialism. There are two kinds of consequentialism. Consequentialism, of course, being the point of view that you should measure or evaluate actions from an ethical perspective according to their consequences. Right? And there are two ways of doing that. One is utilitarianism. And as you look at what we have to say about utilitarianism, you'll notice it's something that many people find to be kind of reductionistic. But it's been influential over the course of history. The alternative to that is another view of another form of consequentialism would be Aristotelian ethics, sometimes known as virtue theory. And you might want to compare and contrast in your thinking as you look at that material. Utilitarianism on the one hand, and Aristotelian virtue theory on the other. Well, other than that, then, everybody, we have a discussion that will be running through the middle of this week on existentialism, and then you'll perhaps want to be getting to work on your second written assignment, which will be due not this week, but next week on Thursday the 30th. I should also mention, everybody, I plan to be traveling to the area this week for homecoming, and perhaps I will get to see some of you there. If you're at the ball game, I more than likely will be hanging out with Dr. Duran and Dr. Maley, assuming that they're attending the assume that they will. So perhaps I will get to see some of you there. In any case, once again, we have a discussion winding up the middle of this week, and then a written assignment due the following week as we come ever closer to the end of this short 8-week term. So be working on all that, and with any luck, perhaps I'll see some of you at homecoming, and we will be talking to you again a week from now at this time. Take it easy.